Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, the news around the NBA is that Joker fans are starting to turn into LeBron James fans. And that's the sad reality of it. And where we say that is these guys are making up all kind of excuses for Joker. And I finally came to realize what's going on with this Joker guy. Now, he's not out here doing nothing wrong, saying nothing wrong, or anything like that. But the fact is, when you look at the entire 2020s, these guys have been touted with some of the all-time great players in the past. Even from the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, they've been touted and compared to these guys, or even been told they're better based on them doing less. We're not comparing, like guys who, did the same, but didn't achieve, the same, like, we would compare LeBron James and, what is it, 6-time defensive team against Michael Jordan's like 9, right? Michael Jordan wins 2 scoring titles against Michael Jordan's 10. In the championships, whatever, Michael Jordan 6 and LeBron James 4 and stuff like that. It's not like that, guys. It's worse. These guys in the 2020s, their superstars aren't making defensive teams. They're not coming into the league kicking down the door and making all NBAs, making all NBA defensive teams, not making all-star teams. It's just these guys have to wait until the league gets weaker for them to get better, right? For them to so-called get at this whatever peak that now the Joker fans are talking about, a 5-year peak. What are we talking about, a 5-year peak? For the all-time great guys back in the day, where do we start on our all-time peak? I guess you can start with championships, I guess, or MVP. But these guys came in to the NBA peaking. They didn't have to wait until the NBA got weaker. It wasn't like that, guys. These guys came in making all-star teams, all NBA, getting statistical titles, rookie of the year, all NBA defensive teams. These guys came in their first 5 years doing that. When we look at the Jokers, the SGAs, the Tatums, these guys like that, no. The Anthony Edwards, they didn't come in the league doing that type of stuff, guys. And now they're trying to be touted, even Giannis. And they're trying to be touted with these other great players for having this so-called peak. But like I said, these all-time great players came in peaking. They didn't have to wait. They might have had to wait for championships, but they didn't have to wait for all NBAs. It wasn't no excuse, well, all NBA, all-star defensive team. It wasn't like, oh man, such and such is on this all NBA or this all-star or this, all NBA defensive team, or this guy, getting all the statistical titles. No, they came in and took it from those guys that was in front of them. This is the excuse for the Joker fans and the 2020 fans. Probably that it was somebody in front of them. They didn't have this team, blah, 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 blah. So when we look at this first 5 seasons against Joker, some of the all-time greats, because they said this guy is the greatest player of all time. This is what Stan Van Gundy is saying now. I heard this from Sports and Fitness Brands. Let me tell you, again, like I said, why they're saying these things, first, they're being comical. You can't take this with a grain of salt. What they're saying is more comical. See, the Stan Van Gundys, he learned from the Nick Rice, the Shannon Sharps, all these fools on TV that made millions lying. And ESPN, Fox Sports, let these guys literally sit up there and lie. So what we find out now is that the truth ain't gonna make you no money. Only the lies are gonna make you money. And that ain't what most people want to do. They don't want to lie. But when they see in this world, what moves the world, what controls the world is lies and deception. Right? So when we look at the NBA, what's been pushed, I don't know, since the LeBron James eras, the 2010s, lies about LeBron James' greatness. So that's the bar. The LeBron James era, the 2010s, especially since the 2015, he's the bar. If he lowered the bar from what Kobe said, what Duncan said, what Michael Jordan said, what Magic, Bird, Kareem, Wilt, ain't gotta be guys that just won championships. We're talking about LeBron James cheated to get where he was, to get where he got, and get the things he got. He did it the wrong way and was rewarded by the NBA and rewarded by the sports media because that's all they had. Okay, they touted his greatness. Once they seen it wasn't, he couldn't carry a team and do it like that. They allowed him to cheat. They basically, not 1, not 2, not 3. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. They advertised and they supported him doing it wrong and cheating. So that's where the bar got left. So ever since then, the bar has been real low. None of these guys that came behind him aren't trying to get to that bar where it was left last with Kobe. They're not trying to get that. Where Kobe, oh man, I can't do it, man. I'm coming out of the West, man. It's too good out here, man. The teams are too good. All the competition is over here, man. I'm gonna have to build a super team. One Hall of Famer ain't gonna do it with Paul Gasol. I'm gonna have to get more than that because I got so many shortcomings. If I get one guy, it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to get two guys because I got so many shortcomings. Kobe didn't say that. Kobe had to battle through the West and do what he had to do. And really, the East, if you think about it, wasn't tougher than the West. So once he did get to the finals, it was easier for him because, you know, his finals was basically going through the West. Was going through the West. It's like Michael Jordan when he won the finals in 91, 92, and maybe 93. That was going through the East. Once he got to the finals, it was a little bit easier. I'm not trying to say it was easy, but that's how it was, at least on the first three-peat. On the second three-peat, I would say no. The West was definitely stronger. Definitely stronger. But he still beat the West. What do you want? But yeah, that's the bar that Kobe left. And LeBron James not showing up to the finals on purpose in 2009, 2010, he wasn't about to pros Kobe. Because he already knew if Kobe come through the West, him playing the Cavs ain't going to be nothing. Or LeBron James. He didn't go get Paul Gasol because he was concerned about playing LeBron James. He went and got Paul Gasol because he needed him to get through the West. At least another Hall of Famer. It was that deep. Not to carry him, but just, you know, be a big man in the middle. So it was okay if LeBron James went and got another all-time great. That's not the problem. He went and got two at a time. That's the problem. So you can't expect the jokers. None of these guys that come after LeBron James, the bar has been lowered so much, and they're not trying to raise it back up for some reason. They're just not. They've already found out that their careers can be lied about to get somewhere that they're not supposed to be. Because LeBron James set that bar. And the media did too. The NBA did too. What do you want from them? They don't have those type of guys. It's going to be easy. That's why they started debate groups and all this stuff and blah, 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 because it's easier for them to lie and get reaction to sell the NBA than to actually find these guys that want to do what Kobe did, do what Shaq did, do what Jordan did, do what Magic did, do what Kareem did, do what Will did, do what Russell did, do what all these guys. It don't matter if they won championships or not. We're talking about doing it the right way. We're talking about, you know, playing defense. We're talking about being competitors. We're talking about coming to work. We're talking about not traveling, not crying, not flopping. Watch any 90s game and all you're going to see is travel, carry, offensive fouls. That's all they do is call the calls. Look, and this is where I stand with this before we get into this right here. The fact is, these guys in the 2020s, and you can say the LeBron James era, in the 2010s, they don't want to be held to a standard. There's no standard, right? So when we look at these guys flopping and carrying and traveling and things like that, right? Back in the day, okay, Michael Jordan might get mad if you call him for a palm or carry or whatever, but ultimately he wants you to call him for those calls, because if you didn't call him for it, you couldn't call John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, whoever. You couldn't call them for those same calls if you didn't call for Michael Jordan. So it was called a standard. He wanted you to call him for them calls, because if you didn't call him for them same things, you couldn't call it on those other guys. These guys out here don't want you to call, carry, and travel for them. And guess what? Now you can't call it on nobody else. Yeah, it really started with LeBron James. Really, he carry, travels, offensive fouls. So you don't call it on LeBron James. The rest don't. So now you can't call it on nobody else. Right? The standard of defense, it went away with LeBron James by 2015. So I'm to the opinion that the reason why these guys since 2015, your superstars like your Devin Bookers, your Durants, your Currys, Luka, Joker, yeah, Giannis does. Who is it? I mean, these guys are, you could say Bradley Beal, he's getting paid superstar money. Harden, Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, whoever, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, these guys don't make no defensive teams. Why? Because to me, I think it's where the bar got set with LeBron James. So in LeBron James' 30s, he hasn't made an All-NBA defensive team. What is that? In his 30s. So the call is basically, as long as you're a one-way player and you don't play defense, you're a superstar, and you're compared to these other guys in the past who were superstars and made all NBA defensive teams. Now, we're not going to say all of them did. When you take a Clyde Drexler, when you take a guy like Charles Barkley, okay, they don't have no defensive teams, but you want to go back and you say, well, who beat them out at their position? And then you might look on there and you say, oh, yeah, I can see that. They got beat out by such and such, right? Who was it? Clyde Drexler got beat out by Michael Jordan and Joe Dumars. Okay. That's respectful. That don't mean Clyde Drexler wasn't playing no defense. He just got beat out by two all-time greats. So when you see these guys that I just mentioned since 2015 and in the 2020s, these superstars that don't make all NBA defensive teams, go see who beat them out. And 9 out of 10 times, it won't be an all-time great defender that beat them out. It won't be. It'll just be, to me, a nobody or just a guy that plays defense in this era for whatever that's worth, but not an all-time great defender. And then you got to ask yourself, if these aren't all-time great defenders that's beating these superstars out on defense, how can they have a chance to make a first and second team, and they can't against these guys who aren't all-time great defenders? I mean, that's just how it is, man. Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, David Robinson, Shaq, all these guys in the 90s, Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, all going against each other for defensive teams. Alonzo Mourning averaging like 3 blocks a game and still can't even make a defensive team until like 2000 or something. I think, what was it, 99 or 2000? It was crazy. This real deal. So that's the bar that LeBron James said. And that's the bar these guys are, they want to be under. They don't want to raise the bar, the 2020 guys. They want to continue the bar, which means they want to do less and get touted for being more than what they are. So let's look at this. First 5 seasons. And like I said, to me, when we look at this, we're not even putting in championships. We're just talking about what you did coming into the NBA. This is what all-time great guys did coming into the NBA. It wasn't no waiting period. It was, yeah, this guy just got good. No. I'm not going to try to say there's no guys in the history of the NBA that didn't get good later on. But don't try to put some of these guys in the 2020s up with these guys who did come into the NBA and were all-time greats. So we're not even looking at championships, because they can make up a skill. Oh, he didn't have this team and this, he didn't have these players and this team was a dynasty, and they'll just come up with all kind of stuff. Even though Joker did come in 2014, he didn't come back to the NBA until the next year. He didn't play in the NBA his first season. I don't know why. It's just weird. I don't think he was good enough. So he ended up coming in the 15-16 season. In first three seasons, he didn't make All NBA, All-Star, never made All NBA defense, and he didn't make the playoffs. So his first 3 seasons, this guy right here, Joker, didn't make All NBA. There's 3 of them, guys. He was didn't make All NBA, didn't make an All-Star, and didn't make the playoffs. All that for the first 3 seasons. This guy was getting beat out from All NBA and All-Star from guys like Karl Anthony Clowns, Boobie Cousins. Who is this? DeAndre Jordan, Joel Embiid. Oh man, it was some guys that you scratching your head. Oh, Rudy Gobert was beating them out for these teams. Wow. And then suddenly, he just started getting good his 4th year. Ain't that 2020, I think? So what, 16, 17, 18. So that would be the night. I think 18, 19. 15, 16. No, yeah, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18. So I guess 18, 19. That's when he finally got on an All-Star and got All NBA. So let's look at this. Michael Jordan, his first 5 seasons, 5-time All-Star. The man made the All-Star being hurt. Wow. That's the Michael Jordan popularity. 18 games. What is this? 4-time All-NBA. 1 MVP. All-Star MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Steals title, 2-time Defensive Team, and 3-time scoring champion. Wilt Chamberlain, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP, All-Star MVP, Rookie of the Year, 5-time scoring champ, 5-time defensive team. Why I put defensive team on here? I know he don't have that, but in reality, that's what it would have been. You can erase it if you want. It don't bother me. But him and who was it? Him and Bill Russell would have been on the first team or second team. So I'm saying 5-time defensive team, whatever. 5-time rebound champion. Kareem, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. And remember, some of these guys only had two All-NBA, not 3. Like Joker had a chance to be on his first 3 years, but never made it. So Kareem, 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 3-time defensive team, 2-time scoring champion. Hakeem Olajuwon, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 3-time defensive team, 1-time rebound leader. Who is this? Magic Johnson, 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, 2-time assist leader, 2-time steals leader. This is real stuff. Who is this? David Robinson, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I wish I could have got Larry Bird on here. Blocks leader, 5-time defensive team, scoring champ, rebound champ. Damn. And I think the next year, I forget, it was something else he was next year. So who is it? Kobe Bryant. This fool had the nerve to tell me that Joker, he told me last night that Joker is better than Kobe Bryant. We already did the 5-year peak, remember? Scap said that Joker had the greatest 5-year peak of all time. Dissing his boy Kobe Bryant. And he wasn't just talking about Kobe, he was talking about any all-time great, which I did a 10-year peak from when Joker came in. We won't count this year, but 11 years he's been in the league. So we did 10 years with, I think, just the centers: Wilt, Kareem, Hakeem, David Robinson, Russell. And they all smoked them. They all smoked them. And we had the championships, but we did all this, we did all the accolades, and they smoked Joker. They smoked them. And now they want to say this 5-year peak. And like I said, man, these guys came in, this ain't a 5-year peak right here. This is the first 5 years. Joker did nothing. Now they're trying to say from 21 until 25 is his greatest 5-year peak, which I don't know. We could go to any of these guys and try to find their 5-year peak, and they're going to smoke Joker. It's just, it's a joke. Because Joker only has 1 championship and 1 finals MVP, right? No statistical titles. I mean, he's got the all NBAs. I guess he's got the All Stars. He ain't got no statistical title. He ain't got no defensive teams. So he's gonna get smoked. If we go look at these guys right here, and Larry Bird included, and we try to find their 5-year peak, this is just the first 5 years. Imagine we try to find their 5-year peak with championships included. Now, it might be tough because they'll still probably beat Joker. Because like I said, he don't have no statistical titles. He don't have no defensive teams. But the only thing that would stop some of these guys is their accolades, might disappear a little bit more. I'm talking about their statistical accolades, because a lot of them end up winning championships later on in their careers, like their 7th season, 8th, 9th, 10th, whatever like that. So some of their statistical accolades might disappear. But I think they still, nevertheless, will beat Joker out in the 5-year peak. So he said that Kobe Bryant ain't even on Joker's level. That's what he told you. Oh, he ain't on Joker's level. And then he started talking about field goal percentage. This is a LeBron James. I told you. These are LeBron James fans. Kobe's field goal, he was inefficient. So how's he the greatest? He's the 2nd greatest shooting guard of all time. How does that make any sense? So he played in the dead ball era, the slowest pace in NBA history, the lowest scoring era. So who you going to? If you need a shot, is it Joker? The last shot. If you need a bucket, you going to Joker? Or you going to Kobe? This guy is a buffoon. I put up the 5-year peak against Kobe's against Joker's. That's what he was replying to. He ain't had no facts. He just said that Joker is way better. And then I said, well, I'm glad you stated the facts. Then he started talking about this inefficiency. So First of all, we're comparing a guard to a center. Second of all, who is Joker's competition at the center position? Nobody. In his era, the guys don't show up to work. They don't want to play. Who is it? Zubac? Hartenstein? You think Hartenstein is in the MVP race this year? He's number 6. You think he's going to be in the MVP race in Kobe's era? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard that in Kobe's era in the 2000s, he had no competition? Well, we hear that about Joker all the time. There's no competition. There's no competition here. Where's the competition? They're always out. They don't play. Where's the high risers? Where's the great defensive players? Kobe, one of the greatest two-way players, according to his resume. Y'all can make up anything y'all want, but when we look at resume, like we looking at right here, you got to come back down to reality. You got to come back down to earth. He can get as many triple doubles as he wants, Joker, but guess what? It won't never be on his resume. When you look up a resume of accolades, it won't never say triple double. Never. Ain't no accolade for that. At the end of the year, there's no accolade for that, guys. Never have, never will be. Just leading the league in points per game, steals, blocks, rebounds, stuff like that. That's all you got. And Joker ain't got none of that on his resume. So he's just wasting his time with these triple doubles because it will never be on his resume. You're better off trying to play defense. You're averaging 0.7 blocks for your career and 0.8 this year. So that's not a guy who's a center. That's impossible for all-time great, a top 10, top 15, whatever, to be averaging that few blocks a game. I'm just saying. We already put that up. Kobe smoked him in the 5-year peak. What was it? 2006 to 2010. More championships, more Finals MVPs. Of course, not more MVPs because all you had to do was play offense in this era. Obviously, he had more defensive teams. Joker ain't got none. What was it? More scoring titles. More All NBAs in that 5-year period. Or All NBA first team. Kobe smoked him. Plus, his competition was better. Brought home 2 gold medals, went to the finals 3 straight times, out the West, playing the most 60-win teams of all time, or 50-win teams of all time, out the West, 3 years in a row, won back-to-back championships against the Big 3 Celtics, 3 top 75 guys, and beat the greatest defensive player of that era, Dwight Howard. It's not even comparable, man. It's a joke. One of the greatest runs of all time, Kobe Bryant. Okay, Kobe Bryant. And this guy is coming off the bench for like the first, 3 years? And a lot of people, Kobe came off the bench. Kobe didn't have to come off the bench. Kobe could have went to, I don't know, I think he got drafted to Charlotte or something like that. But Jerry West wanted him over with the Lakers. He could have told Jerry West, no, I'm not, because Jerry West already told me he ain't going to start. We got Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones was better than Kobe Bryant. Remember, Kobe Bryant was coming out of college. Remember, college back then was off the chain, college basketball. He skipped it for whatever reason. Not that he wasn't ready for the NBA, but he skipped college and he came to the NBA. And he could have went to, I think it was Charlotte who drafted him, but he went with Jerry West. He said, I'm going to come over here, sit on the bench. He could have started with Charlotte every single game. So it ain't like he could not have started. So his first 5 seasons, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 2-time defensive team. Smoked Joker on the first 5 years. Smoked him on a 5-year peak period. From 6 to 10. These guys are doing less to get hyped up to be more than what they are. Kobe Bryant didn't come in the league and was given things. He took it like a man. He said, I'm going to sit on the bench. He could have went to Charlotte and started every single game. And who knows? He might have more championships than Shaq at the end of the day. Because Shaq needed him, not Eddie Jones. They traded away Eddie Jones for Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant wasn't a good defender, but they saw that Kobe Bryant could be a better offensive player than Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones was a great defender, but his offensive game wasn't evolving. It was good. It just wasn't. Nick Van Exel was a better offensive player than Eddie Jones. I think way better. But Nick Van Exel, he wasn't a good defender. See, back then, I'm trying to tell you, man. I had to tell you, man. It was about defense. All that defense is going to counteract all that good offense. Like what they do today in the 2020s, they couldn't do it back in the day. You set 4 guys on the 3-point line, it's not going to work because you got dudes all up in your grill, and you're not going to be able to beat them on the dribble. It's not going to happen. These guys were great defenders out there. They didn't want you out there if you couldn't defend. Unless you was, a great offensive player. Like I said, Dick Van Exel, he was a good offensive player. But eventually they had to get rid of him because he was a liability on defense. They had to get rid of him. And I think, what was it, Derek Fisher? I think he was coming into his own. Now, Derek Fisher didn't make no, defensive teams, but they didn't need Derek Fisher to be offensive player. They need him to play defense on the perimeter. So with him and guys like Kobe Bryant and, defense was just, you're not going to win back then. You don't need defense these days because these guys don't play defense. If your superstars don't play defense, then guess what? Nobody's going to play defense. And that's what it is in the 2020s. These guys don't play defense. So it's just like, okay, you get your buckets, I'm going to let you get my buckets. Let me get my bucket, I'll let you get your bucket. That's all it is. They don't have the men to be the two-way players like in the past. So let's extend this, because I just did a couple guys right there. So let's extend this and go over to, we got Larry Bird over here. He was in his first 5 seasons, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 1-time MVP. Hope that's right. Is it fun? Rookie of the Year, 3-time Defensive Team. Wow. So All-Star MVP. So you're trying to tell me Joker can't make a defensive team? And Larry Bird's making a defensive team 3 in a row back then? Who did I leave out? So Bill Russell is over here. Bill Russell, 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2-time MVP. No, I think that's wrong for Bill Russell. Bill Russell won no 2-time MVP. Bill Russell would be 4-time MVP. 2-time rebound leader, and I'm just saying 5-time defensive team if they had it. But was it Bill Russell? It might have been, was it 2? So he didn't do it his first year, 57. No, he did it 59. Bill Russell come in. So 50, was it 56, 57, right? 57, 58, 59, 60. So he did 59. Let me look this up. I thought Bill Russell had more MVPs than that. I know Paul Cousy won it. I want to say his rookie year. Bill Russell's rookie year. Let me make sure this is right. Because I know the buffoons are, oh man, this and that and that and this. So Bill Russell, what's he saying, college? So he came in 56. So he'll be eligible in 57 to get his first award. So 57, 58, 59, 60. So that's 4 years. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so he won it in 58. '58, 59, 60, 60. Hold on now. So I said 57, right? So came in 57. Yeah, so 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. So that is right. He won it in 58 and he won it in 61. That would be the 5 years. Okay. Anyways, let me know if I'm wrong. Well, we already did this whole thing. So let's look over here real quick and look at some of these other guys. Curry's first 5 seasons, 1-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. Kevin Durant, not too bad. 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, All-Star MVP, Rookie of the Year, 3-time scoring champ. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. If Kevin Durant was an actual leader, but a lot of people blame him though. Oh man, he ran to the Warriors. Y'all gotta realize what is he supposed to do though? I mean, so while LeBron James is starting all these super teams, what is he supposed to do? I don't get it when people say he ran. Yes, he did. It was a weak move, but at the same time, why is everybody supposed to play LeBron James super teams? They never explain that. It's no weaker of a move. Oh, let's just say this: there's no more bar. How could you say that's a weak move? But LeBron James is now on his second super team, and it took until 2017 for another team to build a super team to go against him. So there's no more bar. You can't blame Kevin Durant and Steph Curry coming together because they didn't have a super team. So you can't blame them for LeBron James lowering the bar. It doesn't make any sense to me. And if you look at it, Curry and Durant, they're the only guys who are other teams' number one franchise players. Not Clay. What's his name? Not Draymond Green. But when you look at Kevin Love, Kyrie, and LeBron James, they were other teams' number one franchise players. And I know, who is Kyrie and LeBron James, yes, they came from the same team, but they weren't on the same team at the same time. So in essence, I keep trying to tell you, a lot of people don't like Kevin Durant. That's fine. I think he's something's wrong with him too. But at the same time, that Warriors team wasn't a super team by definition. So LeBron James never played a super team. And like I said, by definition, when we look at the Lakers 2020 bubble win, that's a super team. The Dwight Howard, yes. This is crazy when you say older Dwight Howard, but he came in the league after LeBron James. This is what's so insane about it. That was a super team. AD, LeBron James, and Dwight Howard. So there's no bar. No matter what, super team evolved after LeBron James' super team in Miami. It is what it is. There's no bar. You can't hold anybody else to a standard when there's no more standard. Especially, like I said, it took until 2017. What is that? 6 years of super teaming for LeBron James before another team said we're going to compete against you. Can you blame Kevin Durant? He's always going to have the championships. He's got the finals MVPs. He outplayed Curry. I mean, what? How's it any more of a weak move than what LeBron James did? It ain't. It's just to me, it's just people want to talk. You can't ask the men to compete when LeBron James, who is a superstar of the league, the second greatest player of all time, or what they say, the greatest player of all, he don't compete. He don't want to compete. So why should everybody else have to do it right? It makes no sense, guys. And that's what I'm trying to say. These guys that came after him, the 2020 guys, there's no bar for them. And it's why you hear all this stupid stuff from, on social media. They're trying to cover up because there's no bar. They're trying to cover up for Joker and, the rest of these guys, Anthony. Why the league is so bad and nobody's watching it. The ratings are at an all-time low. Why these guys don't make defensive teams. Everything is because of LeBron James set that bar. But they're trying to come up with whatever they can to cover up. And when I say come up with, these guys put up all these stats with no defense put on them, spread out floor, whatever. They're trying to just tell you these guys are the greatest of all time. Because what else can they tell you, man? It's a dying league. The league is going out of, what do you call it? Going out of business. So that's where Curry was. I know a lot of people, oh man, can't say, but it's the reality, man. Curry's first 5 seasons, 1 All-Star, 1 All-NBA. What else you want me to say? We went through Joker. It's another dude right here, SGA, 1 All-Star and 1 All-NBA. 1 All-Star and 1 All-NBA. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not always right on here. This is what I came up with. I had people come back and say, hey man, you messed up on this dude. And I said, man, I appreciate it. Because it's not easy putting all this stuff together. I'm not doing all AI like Jim. His whole channel is AI. He'll tell you doing all this research by himself. He ain't doing nothing, man. He's doing AI. And his channel is AI. So like I said, if I messed up on one of these, let me know. The Curry thing seems kind of weird to me. Maybe I got that wrong. I don't know. But SGA, 1 All-Star, 1 All-NBA. Tim Duncan, one of the guys that wanted to play back in the day when they used to play basketball before LeBron James took over. A guy that had to school LeBron James 2 times. It would have been 3 times. And he beat LeBron James with a super team. So it was just almost like, Yeah, he went against Tim Duncan in 2007, and he was up against it. And then LeBron James says, remember, we always say LeBron James after 2007 didn't ever want to go back to the finals without a super team. And we've found out it was correct. After 2007, it didn't matter. He didn't want to go back in 2008. 9 and 10, he didn't want to. But some people say he didn't want to play Kobe, which that's true, right? It won't be no debate groups. It won't be none of this stuff today. If Kobe, he would have showed up and Kobe would have beat him. So that's why he didn't show up. It didn't matter if Dirk beat him and whoever beat him in the finals, Curry and Duncan. But if he would have showed up and got beat by Kobe, especially 2 years in a row, a lot of these guys don't have a job now. The Stephen A. Smiths and the who is it, Skip Baylesses and all the Nick Wrights, they don't have a job. It's over. They know, like most people know, LeBron James melted down and choked and lost on purpose in 2009, 2010. So he won't have to play Kobe. Because none of these guys in the debate groups had no job. After that, it's over. Yep. And it should have been over anyways, because this guy has no case after he got mollywopped in 2011 and lost in 2014 and lost in 2015. This is how bad the NBA got, guys. They was following a loser who did it wrong and still got mollywopped. And they was promoting him as the greatest this, the greatest that. What's he going to do? Well, who cares? You did it wrong and you got mollywopped. But we're supposed to care about what he's going to do next? For what? He ain't that dude. And like we always say, guess what? It could have been Kobe, but after 2007, I contend it really didn't matter who it was going to be. If it was going to be Dirk was going to be there, or Duncan, or Steve Nash, or whoever was going to be in the finals out the West, he wasn't going there without a super team. He wasn't going there. He could have been like, man, come on, Dwayne Wade, I'm coming to play with you. Nope, you got to get Bosh. He could have just went and played with Bosh. Nope, you got to get Dwayne Wade. So he was really scared. What does that mean? When you get two superstars at a time, that means you got a lot of shortcomings, right? You got a lot of shortcomings. And don't tell me about some other team they had. No, most of the guys were already there on the team, and they just added a piece. They made their teammates better. Jordan made Pippen better. Curry made Clay better. Larry Bird made Kevin McHale better. Magic made Worthy better. Whatever. We look at the bad boy Pistons. Most of that core came through the draft. Stop the cap. LeBron James supposed to be on his own team, making the teammate better. And okay, add another good piece. Nope, that ain't what he did, guys. So Anthony Edwards, okay, first 5 years, 3 All-Stars, 2 All-NBAs. This is the problem I got with this guy. He's a second tier, third tier player, right? He's not. Unless the league gets real weaker, which I can't even, like I said, the league keeps getting weaker every year. It's hard to say if it gets weaker because it's already on its knees. But Anthony Edwards never made All-NBA first team. And he might be on the third team this year. Because Reeves is outplaying him. Donovan Mitchell is outplaying him. He's not even top 10 in MVP. You got Hartenstein in the MVP race, but not Anthony Edwards and Maxey. He's in there. It's just all kind of names that's head scratching, and Anthony Edwards isn't in there. And we did a video yesterday. He has no impact. He's just out there putting up stats. He has no impact at all on winning. And now Luka's back. He has no chance to make All-NBA first team because he's not going to outdo SGA. And it looks like Reeves might make All-NBA second team with either Maxey or did I say Donovan Mitchell? Or Donovan Mitchell. So he's going to be on third team this year unless a miracle happens. But I don't think it's going to happen because he has no impact. Like I said, this guy should be putting up 30 points at his age like it ain't nothing in his fast-paced era. It's easy. With his athleticism, he just ain't got it, man. He just ain't got it. Luka is averaging more. What's he? He's 28 points per game. 4 rebounds and like 3 or 4 assists or something like that. Oh man, I can't keep up with this, man. He's 28 points per game, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. I don't know, man. Yes, he's shooting a good percentage, but man, 4 rebounds? What is that? And 3 assists. 34 minutes. A guy like that's young, he should be giving you 37 minutes easily. And then you look down here, Luka Doncic, 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, and he was Rookie of the Year. How come Anthony Edwards wasn't Rookie of the Year? How come SGA wasn't Rookie of the Year? How come Joker wasn't Rookie of the Year? What? Jason Tatum, 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Do you guys see what we're missing right here? What are we missing? What are we missing? LeBron James, 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star MVP, Rookie of the Year, scoring champ. Okay. That was the era back then. I mean, we're not saying LeBron James is garbage. What we're trying to say is LeBron James screwed up his own career by doing what he did and building super teams. A lot of guys had to wait longer to win championships. He couldn't take the fact that he was just a good player, but he wasn't a clutch player. He wasn't a number one. So he sold his soul for the NBA. That's what he did. He basically sold his soul. The NBA can say, yeah, we're going to tell you how great this guy is after he builds his super team. He sold his soul. He didn't do it like Kobe. He didn't do it like Jordan. He didn't do it like Tim Duncan. He didn't do it like none of these guys. So there's an underlying theme right here for the Currys, for the Durants, for the Jokers, for the SGA, for the Anthony Edwards, for the Luka, for the Tatum. What's the underlying theme right here for these guys? No defensive teams. Curry, Durant, Joker, SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Jason Tatum, their first 5 years, no defensive teams. And guess what? They still don't have no defensive teams. I guess we could have put a lot of other guys in here too. The Russell Westbrooks, the James Hardens, no defensive teams. The Jaylen Browns. And then when you look over here to the left, which we could have put more guys up here, the only guy who don't have a defensive team is Magic Johnson. And he still got 2 steal titles. And guess what? That can be, like I said, we can go to see who beat him out at his position for those defensive teams, and they're going to be all-time great defensive players. We know what Magic was, the greatest point guard of all time. But when we look at Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joker, SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Tatum, are we really going to be able to go to the defensive teams in our first 5 years and say, oh yeah, they got beat out by all-time greats, or just in their career period because they don't have no defensive teams? Are we going to be able? No, we're not going to be able to do that. I've already did that. They're not getting beat out by all-time great defenders. So what we have is these are one-way players. And they're one-way players playing against defenders who aren't even all-time great defenders. And they're not two-way players. So your guys who are making defensive teams, they're not two-way players. And your superstars of the 2020s, well, from 2015 until now, they're one-way players. Maybe except for Giannis, maybe AD was in there, but for the most part, they're all one-way players. I'm not going to try to say all the guys from these past eras, like in the 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, I ain't going to say all the superstars were two-way players, but guess what? A lot of them were. A lot of them were. And if they didn't make All-NBA defensive team, like I said, you could say, man, let me see who beat them out. That's what you want. That's what you want to find out. Just like on the All-NBA team, you say, oh man, who beat such and such out for first team, second team, third team. We do the same thing for All-NBA defensive because it's only 2 teams. It's not 3 teams. It's only 2. So on the first team, I consider that your great defenders in the league. Second team, they're good defenders, maybe help defenders, unless they got beat out by all-time great. That's on the first team. In the 90s, that usually happened, especially with the centers. So none of these guys have an excuse, really. The Currys, the Durants, the Jokers, the SGAs, the Anthony Edwards, the Jason Tatums, the Lukas, even Harden and Russell Westbrook and Bill and Booker and Jason, who is this? Jaylen Brown. All your so-called superstars, the last 10 years have zero excuse to not make no All-NBA defensive teams. Zero. They have no excuse. Which means these guys in the past, they were doing more. They were two-way players. They were doing more. So anyways, you know, like I said, when we put these other guys up here, the Larry Birds, he had a better 5-year start. And what a joke, man. Even Durant had a better 5-year start. Then Joker, you got LeBron James had a better 5-year start. Of course, Duncan had a better 5-year start. It's just a joke. When you look at these guys, I know Curry was hurt, whatever like that. That's what they're going to say. But these guys are all the same. The Jokers, the SGAs, the Anthony Edwards, and the Lukas, the Jason Tatums. Either they had a slow start for no reason, and they had to wait for the league to get weaker. I'm not trying to say all of them, based on their accolades, like Joker and Anthony Edwards. But what they share in common is the defensive teams. They ain't playing defense, guys. They ain't playing defense. So to me, they'll never be compared to the 2000s guys, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. It's a joke. And what tells that? It's the NBA ratings. It's the finals ratings that tell that. You can come up with whatever you want to say because you're embarrassing yourself. But the proof is in the pudding. So let's look at this. Last year, OKC, they averaged 10 million viewers in the finals. Well, the Pacers versus OKC. So nobody wanted to see SGA. That's just how it is. 10 million. Don't give me, Halliburton got hurt, whatever. They did peak in game 7 at 16 million, but overall they averaged 10 million. Boston and Dallas, they averaged just a little bit more than that. 11 million in the finals. And Luka was in there. Nobody wanted to see him play. These are some of the lowest rating finals of all time. Denver Nuggets, right? Against the Heat. Same thing, 11 million. One of the lowest. Nobody wants to see Joker play. Golden State and Boston, I won't say it was too much better. They averaged 12 million viewers. It's not good. Giannis, nobody wants to see Giannis play. Wow, that's crazy. Or Chris Paul, they averaged 9 million viewers. That's crazy. That was in 21-20. We all know LeBron James averaged 7 million viewers in every single game. I think it was 6 games. I think they're trying to say it's the lowest in every single game. All 6 games of all time. I had no excuse, but nobody wanted to watch the guy play. This goes back to 2007. Nobody wants to watch the guy play. Nobody likes LeBron James. When his ratings started going up in the finals, when they started going up a little bit when he went to Miami because they wanted to see him lose. He wasn't there, and people was watching, and they were pretty low too. They weren't like, middle of the pack or nothing like that. They were still low. They were like 11, 12. They weren't that high. They wanted to see him lose. Remember, he went from the good guy to the villain just to win championships. Because that's all the NBA had. But everybody was rooting for him to lose. Even when he played Curry, yes, those finals ratings went up because they wanted to see the guy lose. Crazy guys. They didn't want to see him win because he was a bad guy who did it wrong. So that's just the 2020s. Even when we look at, 2019, they averaged 15 million viewers. That's crazy. That's more than any 2020's viewership in the finals. The Raptors against Golden State. Yep. And if I'm mistaken, it peaked at 18 million, which is the highest of any game in the 2020s, any single game. But again, they averaged 15 million viewers. Wow. more than any series in the 2020s. In fact, let me see. It doubled what LeBron James was in 2020. The 19 finals, Toronto and Golden State, that doubled the Lakers Miami Heat finals in 2020. Doubled that, guys. That's crazy. So my point is, nobody wants to see these 2020 guys play. Nobody wants to see them. And that's why they're making up all this stuff and saying all this nonsense with these guys, because nobody wants to see them play. And this has been the arrival of these international players that they're supposed to be all-time great. But nobody wants to watch them play. Nobody's watching them on the holiday games, the finals, the playoffs, the regular season. Nobody wants to see them play. Just the facts. Go look at the ratings in the 2020s. Nobody want to see, just like nobody want to see LeBron James play. Nobody want to see the 2020 guys play. And most of this is international guys. It's been in the finals. They got the worst ratings of all time in the 2020s. It don't matter if it's in the finals. It don't matter if it's in the playoffs, the regular season, whatever. They got the worst finals of all time. Finals ratings. Nobody wants to see them play. And they had to change the game just so these guys could come over here and play, just so they can compete. They had to change the game. They brought a Euro style format over here as far as play to help them out. They don't have the same men. They don't. I don't know what to say. For the Joker fans, it is what it is, man. He's playing against no defense. He had to wait to get better until the league got better. The league got weaker. He ain't playing no center competition. Your superstars don't play defense. The biggest thing for me, I don't care. I don't care if you don't never win a championship again, because you don't ask for no help. Every great superstar went and got help if they didn't have help. It don't matter if it was Kobe, Jordan went and got Rodman. The Pistons were making moves, the Lakers were making moves. Every superstar made moves. LeBron James made moves. Durant made moves. Curry made moves. So I don't want to hear it. Kawhi made moves. I don't want to hear it from his fans. Oh man, he ain't got no help. Well, he's a superstar on the team. He plays with Gordon and Murray. I would have got rid of him 2 years ago. Or at least last year. You got to go. The bar is winning championships. Everybody, those guys I just mentioned that went and got somebody, what did they know? The bar is winning championships. Why do you think LeBron James hopped around team to team? I'm not trying to say what he did was right, but everybody knows the bar is championships. And I'm not trying to say Joker got to build a super team. Go get you another great player. Who cares about stats, dude? Stats are cool when you first come in the league. And you see these guys I put up there the first 5 years, most of them won't win the championships. They were putting up stats and accolades and stuff like that. And then it came to a time you got to win. That's the bar. Because you got to catch up to the guys that came before you. You can't compare yourself to them if you ain't winning championships. The bar was winning championships. That's just how it is. So nobody cares about, Joker fans, you ain't got nobody to play with. Go get somebody. You going back to Serbia in the offseason. You ain't making moves. It don't look like you want to play with no other superstar. Look like you just want to play with your boys. And I'm cool with that. If you want to play with these dudes that always get hurt, that's fine. That's cool with me. But nobody wants to hear from his fans. If you ain't winning championships, nobody want to hear it. So you ain't winning championships. You ain't going to the finals. You ain't winning no statistical accolades. You ain't on no defensive teams. You ain't playing no competition, but you want us to believe that somehow you're the greatest player of all time? Or you're top 10 or you're top 25? No, this guy will never be in my top 25 because all the things I just said. Can't play against no competition and then lose on top of that. And not make it to the finals because you don't want to play with nobody. And you're putting up stats in the weakest era of all time. And you ain't playing no defense. Ain't nobody playing defense on you. What is it? Nobody wants to watch you play. Nobody wants to watch your era play because people ain't dumb. They can turn on TV and they see what they see. Yes, the media can hypnotize you and tell you lies because they ain't holding this era to a standard. because obviously what does the NBA do? They don't have the men no more, so they got to make up a whole different, I don't know, league. Set a new bar, set a new standard. They don't have those type of men. Those men don't exist no more, man.